Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Study with me. So today we are going to continue with our chapter Plant Kingdom. So let's get started. First, we are going to study about bryophytes. Their common features. They are known as amphibians of plant kingdom. Why? Because they can live in both water and land. They are also known as first embryophytes. They are non-vascular plants because they do not have any vascular tissue. They have rhizoids. Now, what are rhizoids? They are actually root like structures. They are not actual roots, but they are root like structures. Okay, now see these plants, two types of structures are seen. One is known as sporophyte, and the other is known as gametophyte. Just do remember that sporophyte is most of the time diploid in nature, and gametophyte is haploid. In case of bryophytes, the sporophyte is parasitic and it is totally dependent on the gametophyte for its nutrition. And the gametophyte, it is free living and photosynthetic. And they both are multicellular structure in case of bryophytes. Okay, so now let's learn about the two types of bryophytes. One is mosses and the others are liver rots. We should know that mosses are more differentiated than the liver rots. The example of liver rots are Marchantia and Riccia. This is very important question that Marchantia is dioecious in nature and Riccia is monoecious. Marchantia is dioecious, it means it has two types of gametes. One is male and the other is female. The male gamete is known as antheridium in case of bryophytes. Okay, and the structure of it looks like means the structure of the gamete. It looks like this. Okay, and the archegonium, that is the female one, it looks like this. Okay, so now let's study about reproduction in bryophytes. Bryophytes show both sexual reproduction and also vegetative reproduction. Okay, so first let us study about sexual reproduction. First of all, the main body of the bryophyte, that is known as the gametophyte, it develops into a protonema. This stage of the bryo, it is green, creepy and branched. Okay. And it also develops, it either develops into a protonema or it develops into a leafy stage. Okay. Example of it is porella. In case of porella, it develops into a leafy stage. And this leafy stage, it is multicellular, branched and it has rhizoid. Okay. So in case of leafy stage, the primary protonema, it becomes secondary protonema. And the secondary protonema, it has lateral buds, and these lateral buds, it shows budding, and budding is a type of vegetative reproduction. Okay, so the leafy stage on one hand shows budding as well, but on the other hand it has sex organs. The leafy stage, it has sex organs on the same plant but different branch. Okay, and these are known as gamecops. Means they also have gamecops and these gamecops, they are asexual buds. I mean the sex organs of the bryophytes, they are present in the gamecops. Okay, so now these gametes, the male and female gametes, these the antheridium and archegonia, it fuses in the water. The main point is that why this is the reason that why the bryophytes are known as the amphibians of plant kingdom. It is because they live on land. Okay, I mean they live in the spot near the water, on the land but near the water, because they require water for their reproduction, for the sexual reproduction. And then they form zygote, and the zygote further forms the sporophyte. Okay, that is dependent on the gametophyte only. So this when we talked about protonema and leafy state, it is developed upon the gametophyte. It is gametophyte is the whole structure of that bryophyte plant. Okay, now they show vegetative reproduction by both fragmentation and budding. Budding, we have learned about it, that the secondary protonema shows budding, and fragmentation also it shows, like it itself breaks into fragments. Now this is some like trick, like the body. When we talk about the body of the whole plant, we use four. in the suffix, like sporophore. Okay, the whole body of the plant. And when we are talking about the organ, we use dium, like sporidium, and the gamete we use site, like oocyte. Okay. Now, the example of bryophytes are Funaria, Polytrichum, and Sphagnum. Okay. Sphagnum is also known as bog moss or cotton moss. And when it dry up, when it becomes fossil, it becomes peat, and this peat is used as a fuel. See friends, we studied that in case of bryophytes, the gametophyte stage is the dominant one. But in case of pteridophytes, the sporophyte stage is dominant. And you should always remember that sporophyte is always diploid, and that gametophyte is always haploid, because gametes are always haploid in nature. Okay. The sporophyte forms spores, and in pteridophytes, spores are of two types. One is homosporous and the other is heterosporous. Example of homosporous are Lycopodium, Dryopteris. And obviously, homosporous means they bear single kind of spores and they are monoecious in nature. Okay. And they are found, means most of the pteridophytes are homosporous only. And for heterosporous, the example is Selaginella and Salvinia, and they are dioecious because they have both type of spores. Hence, they may have different plant bodies. One is for male and other is for female. Okay, and these two examples are very important for NEET. Okay, they always ask that which the Selaginella and Salvinia are heterosporous. These kind of questions. Okay, so now the very interesting part of it, the reproduction in pteridophytes. Okay, just like the bryos, pteridophytes also show alternation of generation. Friends, actually, the actual meaning of alternation of generation is that the stage wherein the plant bears both haploid and diploid bodies. Okay, and of course, bryos and pteridos are the example of it. So let's study about it. Okay, the main plant body of a pteridophyte is obviously sporophyte because it's the dominant one. Hence, it bears true leaf, true stem, and true root. The leaves are of two types, microphyll and macrophylls. Micro means the small leaves. Okay, macro means large leaves. And macrophylls example is ferns. For microphyll example is Selaginella. This is also very important example for NEET. Okay. Now, the sporophyte, the main plant body, after a stage, okay, after its vegetative stage, when the reproductive stage come, it bears sporangia, okay, or in plural form we can call it sporangium. The sporangia, it bears sporophyll, that is just a leaf-like appendages. You should remember that in case of equisetum, it is an example of pteridophyte. Okay, the sporophyll forms strobilus, that is cone-like structures. Okay, it just get compact form. Okay, now the sporangium, it forms spores inside the spore mother cell. Okay, and these spores then develop into a gametophyte. And in case of pteridophyte, this gametophyte is known as prothallus. This prothallus is a multicellular, free living, and photosynthetic organ. That's why it is green. Okay. In case of bryos, we studied that the sporophyte, it is not free in nature, but in case of this, the gametophyte is free. Okay. So they both sporophyte and gametophyte, they are not interdependent on each other. Okay. Now, the gametophyte, it bears two types of gametes. That is female and male. Female is known as archegonia, male is antheridium. This archegonia bears egg and this antheridium bears antherozoids. That are just sperms, like in case of animals, there are sperms, and in case of plant, there are antherozoids. So they both get fused. I mean, the antherozoid, they means they require water, and in water medium they travel to the archegonium and fuses with the egg. When they both fuse, they form zygote, and the zygote further form embryo, and the embryo form the sporophyte, that is the main plant body. Right? It's the same thing. Now, this thing is mentioned in the NCRT and it's very important. These are just the examples of pteridophyte. Okay, so the first is Psilopsida. Okay, this is maybe the genus. I think it's the class or genus. Okay, so Psilopsida, the example is Xylotum. Okay, you can remember it like easily, like this is silo, so Xylotum is an example. Lycopsida, Selaginella, and Lycopodium. Lycopodium you can easily learn, just cram up this Selaginella. Okay, Phenopsida, the example is Equisetum. So you just cram up this that Equisetum is the only example of Phenopsida. And also remember that Equisetum is used to, it was used in past years. I mean, in olden days, Equisetum was used to clean the dishes. Okay, it has that brushy, like we use that nowadays we use that stainless steel cleaners and all to wash dishes, but in olden times this plant was used for that purpose. Even now also in villages people use this. Okay, it looks like somewhat this. So now Pteropsida, it is Dryopteris and Pteris, and Adiantum. These are the example. So for NEET, these examples are very important. So just remember to learn them up. So thank you so much, friends. Bye bye.